Okay, I'm out here this evening to trim Star's back hooves, and while I trim her hooves, I'm just going to be pointing out what the different aspects that I'm trimming and what I'm trimming specifically. To get started, I'm just going to clean her hoof out real thoroughly so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and where I'm going to start is on her frog. So I'm going to trim along the side of the frog, open that up. And that what I'm doing right there is just checking to see if that's actually the true tip of the frog. True tip. Sometimes it can get melded into the sole, but I think that's right there. Maybe just a little bit right there, but it's fine. Sharpening that knife was a very good idea. That really worked good. And now I'm going to give her her hoof so she can see how that feels and get a little break. And if she does anything like licking and chewing or sighing, any sign of relaxation, that's always a good thing to see because that tells you that it feels good what you just did. Not yet. Okay, now I'm going to trim her bars and her sole. That right there is the bar, which is just a continuation of the hoof wall, which the hoof wall goes all the way around like this, and then it wraps around. And then for her sole, it definitely looks like it needs some trimming. Just a lot of lumps. And I can see it needs trimming because it's chalky, which means it's dead. You can see that looks all chalky, kind of like literally chalk. That's all dead stuff. Whenever you get to sole that is almost like waxy, that stuff you don't want to be, that's where you want to be stopping, because that's getting towards the live sole, or is the live sole. There's a difference between live sole and what's called retained dead sole, and the retained dead sole doesn't really look chalky, so it's a little bit more confusing, but for the most part, the gauge is, if it's chalky, you're going to take it, it's dead, and if you're getting to where it's more waxy, you want to stop. And you can see I'm not taking a lot, like I'm taking small amounts as I go. It's easier to just take it easy and versus going in there and just going like, you know, really getting aggressive with it, versus it taking a little bit more time but you're doing a better job. At least for me, that works pretty good.
And you want to explain what method of trimming are you using?
Yeah, so the method that we use is David Landreville's method. Hoof Builders, he has a membership called Hoof Builders where you can learn how to do it, and it's really affordable. It's $10 a month, or $25 a month if you want to be able to post your horse's hooves and get his direct advice on it. But it's just really, really good, and that's who we recommend learning from. Some very unique and specific differences to his approach to trimming than a lot of other approaches, even in barefoot trimming, that make a huge difference, so that's what I recommend. See, there you go.
And even though David Landreville is a professional barefoot hoof trimmer, he is a very, very big advocate of people learning to trim their own horse's hooves, which we think is really, really cool.
Yeah, that definitely sets him apart, and when it comes to being a professional, not your conventional professional at all. Okay, now I'm going to start trimming the wall, which, like I said, this is the wall, and it wraps around into the bar. And she's got enough here that using the nippers would be helpful, so that's what I'm going to do. Except I'm not going to use the nippers on the heels because I don't want to lower them too much. And now I'm going to come back with the rasp so I get it all smooth, and I need to get it lower. I haven't got it trimmed completely yet. Good grief. And this is to get the hoof wall even in width around the hoof as part of creating a roll. Now what I'm doing right there is beveling that edge, because if you look right on this side, you can see there's this edge right here, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is, with sort of a rolling motion, bevel that off. Doesn't have much toe here to back up. Just a little bit. Now I'm going to move the stand out of the way for the heels because I need to be able to have this in a different angle. This is one of the big differences with how David's method is. Definitely very not the normal way of trimming heels that you'll find in the barefoot world. But once you learn about it and you get it down, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm not perfect at it yet, but I've certainly gotten better at it, which is feels good. And it takes a bit to get the hang of. So if you start trimming your horse like this, it will take you a little bit probably. That's okay. That right there is the difference of how, with the hoof builder's approach, how you pull back heels. Normally people will just like rasp across the heels like this. That's not actually pulling them back, it's just flattening them down. And the difference with this way of trimming heels is you don't want them to be flat. And we'll try to show you that before I get towards the end here. You don't want them flat. That's why you can see I'm not flattening them. I'm doing this like rolling and different angles here. All the way around on the hoof should have a roll. ahead and try and get that angle here. You can see how that angle is. They're not flat. And then if I can, try to do this. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. Oh, glory. It's looking a little ragged. Ragged old flag. Tell me if you know that reference.
What is it?
Johnny Cash.
What song?
I think it's called Ragged Old Flag.
Is it a good song?
Yeah. I think it's mostly a talking song.
We'll put it down in the link in the description.
Yeah. Alright, now the last thing for this tip is I'm going to finish the roll from the outside, which isn't absolutely necessary, but I pretty much always do it. It's just, you know, makes a better roll and it makes the trim last a little bit longer, prevents chipping of hooves, all that. So. And there you go. We've been trimming our own horses' hooves. This is the second year that we were horse owners, which was with Star, was our first horse. And we started trimming her when I was, how old was I? 12.
Which
I was 12 years old.
we've had her for 11 years.
Since 2012, so we've had her for, yeah, it'll be 12 years this year. And I'll leave down in the description, I'll link David Langevel's membership. And I'm going to get on to the next stuff.